the season here in Colorado is quickly winding down. So I'm out here today. I'm hoping to get one more like half day of sailing and then put the boat back on the trailer that afternoon. The marina closes on the 15th of September, so only 7 days away. And you know, September sailing here, even though it's only at this lake anyway, you know, 2 weeks in September, it's really nice. The winds are a little bit more predictable. There tend to be fewer storms because you're not getting as much afternoon heating. And so, you know, it's cooler. So it's just really, really nice out here. So my plan for today is the winds are supposed to turn and start coming from this direction, but right now they're coming from over here in the north. So my plan for the day is actually to head up the lake, which I rarely do. I don't usually go to the north end very much. It's kind of shallow, and there's a lot of that Eurasian milfoil because it is shallow. So I'm going to sail with the centerboard up to avoid fouling my centerboard or the centerboard line that pulls the centerboard up, which is usually actually where it gets caught. And we'll see how it goes. I've got about 3 hours today to sail. I got a late start, but yeah, we'll see what happens. The winds are definitely supposed to pick up. Supposed to be gusting to 17 later this afternoon, but I'll probably be off the lake by then. So time will tell. So I don't think I've ever filmed this little rocky area here. It's just north of the marina, and the rocks that I'm normally filming are further south. But you know, this area is very near to some of the camping sites. So there's a vault toilet right there in the center of your screen, and then you can see a couple weekday campers. So there's 1, 2 trailers and a truck over there. And so normally this whole area is really noisy because the camping ground is right there, and so people just walk over to the shore and they're out there with their umbrellas and their lawn chairs having a good time and making a lot of noise, which does not make for good YouTube content, at least not good, quiet, calm, relaxing sailing content in my mind. So that's why I never filmed this area. But you know, there are some really cool rocks and little outcroppings there, and it is pretty when there's, you know, when it's not swarmed with people. Alright, so to get to the north end, so there's an island directly in front of me, which there is a way to get around it, but it's very narrow and it makes a big turn in the middle of it. So that's not a great way. It's also pretty shallow. And then, you know, we have an island right here, another island right there, and then a rocky island right over there, and then the shore on the other side. So this is the big gap over here, which is normally what I would do. But right now, I'm on a pretty good tack. So I'm wondering if I take the smaller gap over here on the west side. So we'll see. It looks like either way, I might be losing my wind. Doesn't look like there's real good wind on the north end, which is pretty common. So yeah, pretty amazing. If you look at the north end, it looks pretty flat and still. And then when I turn and look at the south end looks like there's some good wind down there. So that kind of makes me want to change my plan and maybe go to the south end. But we'll see what it does. I'm going to keep this course for a little while longer. All right. So it's looking really glassy on the north end, and the south end just looks much better. So I think I'm going to head down there. Got a little wildlife going by the boat right here. Let's see here. Blocked by the lifeline. Oh, there he is. It seems as though I did not make a good choice because the wind is slowly moving to the south. And now I am barely moving. There's almost no wind here. So heading north was not a good idea. Now, you know, part of that was based on the forecast. So the forecast called for the winds to start picking up and come from the west. And so my thought was that I could beam reach when the winds picked up all the way up north and then all the way back down south. But yeah, that's definitely not happening. And you know, as is so often the case out here, the wind forecasts are just terrible. So yeah, I'm just out here bobbing along, trying to make the best of it. All right, so I am in a little bit of wind now, and it's interesting because so the ripples came from the south, right? So the patches of wind you could see came up the lake from the south, but the actual wind direction is from the northeast. So yeah, always interesting out here. All right, well, a sudden gust of wind came, and now we have wind from the east, which is weird because the forecast said that the wind today would be from the west all day long, which is really unusual for that to happen. So I didn't really believe it anyway, but yeah, we got a nice little bit of wind here. Not a lot, but we're moving. All right, well, today is all about frustration and fickle winds. So I had a good bit of wind coming from the northeast, but like for less than 10 minutes. The boat was, moving really good, and then it just dissipated. But it shifted to the south, and so now it's coming from the east again. And yeah, I guess, the wind's just trying to figure out what it wants to do. But of course, it's on a day where I have very limited time. I got a late start. I got to be back home in time to pick up my daughter from school. And so, I've got maybe an hour and a half left out here for sailing. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll give it the old college try, I guess. But, and the wind's shifting right now. Awesome. So, yeah, I don't think, the weather forecast right now is, supposed to be blowing like 10 miles an hour with like gusts to 12. And then later it's supposed to be blowing 14 with gusts to 17. But right now it's not doing much of anything. Just barely moving. Still nice. So here you can see a little tiny gust heading right for me. I don't think it's gonna do much, but we'll see. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of dissipating. So just now starting to feel it a little bit. Yeah, that might have been the last gasp of the wind right there. The wind that I was kind of chasing to the south has really dissipated, and since I really don't know what it's going to do, because typically when it starts to dissipate out here, it's because the winds are kind of reorganizing, trying to figure out what they want to do, which direction is stronger. And so typically that indicates a direction change, and oftentimes strong winds come in, right after it gets really light. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back toward the Marina Cove and just kind of hang out there, because the winds could pick up in the north again, and if they do, I'll head north. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead, and right now they look better to my north than they do to my south, which I was chasing them to the south, and yeah, it's just what it is out here. But yeah, in front of the marina, I can see really good on both sides of the lake right now. My view to the north is blocked by this island, and so if I head more toward the Marina Cove, I'll be able to see a lot better, and then try and keep myself in the wind. All right, so almost as soon as I turn north, I got some wind coming from the east, the northeast. So the marina is directly off to my starboard side, and I'm not moving fast, but I got a little bit of wind. Now granted, because of where these islands are, I can't really see what else is coming down the lake, but it's interesting. I made some plans based on westerly winds that were going to be steady all day, and that plan definitely has not come to pass. All right, and another wind shift. So now the wind's coming from the east, so I'm on a port tack. I'm heading southeast. Man, yeah, that's something else. All right, well, I just did a big 360 trying to chase the wind, but now it's coming from the northwest, but still very light. So yeah, interesting. And I'm still basically in the same spot right in front of the marina. Some back there. But not much else. Fickle, fickle winds. Word of the day, fickle winds. I think I'm gonna do jibe and head back. Right now I'm heading straight north, so I think I'm gonna jibe and head back south. Oh, that's something else. All right, so now we have some wind. So that's looking north. Definitely some wind coming at us. We're in a big flat spot right now. But yeah, it's heading down here quick. Yeah, I'm hoping I'm gonna do a starboard tack once I get into it. And then hopefully do another port tack. And then try and get through the islands to the north end, finally. We'll see if that happens or not. So it appears to be a northeasterly wind. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like once I get on the other side of this island here, to see if it's, you know, really blowing on the other side or what's going on. So once I make this tack and then I get down a little bit further to the east, I'll be able to see what's going on the other side of the island on the north side of the lake. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so the surface of the water definitely looks like it's getting darker as you go north. So it looks like there's some good wind coming. Again, we'll see if we get there or not. I don't know how long it's going to last. Now I'm stuck here. The wind died. I see some good wind a little further north, but I'm kind of stuck here right now. And I can see it coming. I just can't tell what direction it's going to be blowing when it gets here. But it's getting really close. Stuck in a big lull. Oh man. Boy. I just don't know what the wind's trying to do. looks like we got our westerly wind finally. Very strange. Alright, so the wind changed to a westerly wind, but I am moving really slow. It's very light, and I'm running out of time. So I think my mission to get to the north end is going to be a failure today. So I'm getting close to the pass between the islands, the 3 islands and the shore. But yeah, I'm just running out of time, and I'm not moving very fast. What an interesting day. So, out here it's like this a lot, where the winds constantly shift, and then they're very fickle, so they pick up a little bit, get a little burst, and then it goes away, and then it shifts again. But I, usually don't record all that because it's just frustration city. And then, an hour from now, it'll be blowing like crazy. But just not right now. So I think I'm going to turn the boat around unless something really drastic happens in the next 5 minutes. All right, well, I'm heading back. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to make it through that little pass, which, is actually pretty big. It's like 1,000 feet. But, how many times I've gone through there and not made it because the winds have changed. It's just something else. So I'm heading back to the marina in light winds, wing on wing. And yeah, today didn't turn out the way I thought it would. But yeah, that's just how it goes. Unbelievable. So now that I'm getting back to the marina, the winds pick up, of course. All right, the boat's all tied up, and I'm ready to go. So the wind really has stayed very light. So the predicted wind never really happened. I'll check later on today to see what if it comes in later in the afternoon. But yeah, not a great day of sailing, but still a great day of sailing.